Children today seem to struggle more than those in the past. A sense of community and support has eroded, and in many cases, disappeared. Depression rates have increased. Socialization is not what it used to be. How can we bring it back and even improve on where it was? Why do we not teach children how to mentor, how to lead younger children? I've heard that some schools do, but certainly very few. Imagine if we taught leadership, mentoring at a young age and taught it well. What if we taught the mentors to ask the question of how could the lives of those who they are mentoring be better? Imagine if we had a nation of citizens that had been trained in how to mentor and who had been mentored in this way. How much better parents would they grow into? Better spouses, better friends, better employees, employers, and better servants of humanity. Our children are not valued in our education system. This system would value them. We would have felt a bigger part of something. We then would more easily adopt a mindset of wanting to contribute to humanity. There, of course, would be problems that would be encountered and corrections that would be needed. This would be a program that would continue to grow in effectiveness over time and should have a profound effect on society. These children mentors should spend a part of their time learning how to mentor. This would be ongoing. They would be taught how to be compassionate and supportive to those they are mentoring. Perhaps they would attend a class with other child mentors and have open discussions about the progress they are making. This would also serve in developing their presentation skills. It might include a roundtable discussion led by a teacher or outside adult who would help develop skills needed in this situation. The mentors might share what is going on with the one they are mentoring and their experience in that. They would look at what has worked and the struggles they are having. If it doesn't seem progress is being made, then a teacher or assistant could work one-on-one with the mentor. The system would be encouraging and enthusiastic towards the mentors. The philosophy should always be that it is the mentor who needs to figure out how to bring the mentored along, just as a teacher needs to bring along a mentor. There may be special cases in which maybe a much older kid has to be brought in. Ideally, mentoring should be done by all kids. If a child shows no interest in being a mentor, then they shouldn't do this, or at least not until they are ready. It should be a teacher's intention to bring along all students to the point in which they can effectively mentor, but at the same time, a student shouldn't be forced into it. There might be another way to involve a child who doesn't want to directly mentor. Perhaps the idea could start being promoted when they're in kindergarten or first grade, that they later become mentors. Each child would be encouraged to see their value in doing this. Students could be encouraged to do this all the way through school, then encouraged to continue after high school. This should continue throughout life, even if for just an hour a month or so. If they were parents, then they might bring their child or children along to see what is being done. Imagine the teaching force we would have. Imagine the abilities one would have coming up in such a system. The system would give them support, encouragement, care, confidence, development, all often lacking now. They would also be lifetime mentors for one another. As an adult, instead of engaging in mindless addictive activities, one might then choose to help out another adult in any struggles that adult is having. I don't see how this wouldn't reduce prison welfare, those on disabilities, and homeless numbers significantly. It would also raise the productivity and abilities of everyone. The school system could also encourage individuals to stay in touch with one another throughout their lives. This might evolve into a networking organization. This might be similar to the endowment program that universities have with alumni. The endowment program raises money for the university. The purpose of the endowment idea here would be to increase the amount of time adults give back to the system and any additional monies needed for the mentor program. There could also be a national organization overseeing the mentor program, a think tank providing support, resources, and direction. There could be a website of sharing for those overseeing or outside adults assisting in this. The site would include various types of mentor programs, also looking at what has worked and what hasn't. If someone is particularly effective, then perhaps they could be sent to other districts to give a presentation on why they felt that they were effective in mentoring. I believe futurists, company executives, consultants, and others could be brought into structure and in running local or even national programs. They would bring expertise, such as which skills will be more strongly needed in the future. Mentoring then could become a subject and a major at universities. With things changing more and more quickly, I would assume some of the things the mentor programs could embrace would be adaptability, thinking skills, creativity, problem-solving ability, and other emerging skills needed for the future. A portion of the mentor program would be to bring students along in their education system also. And I believe a tutor program would need to be implemented. Maybe there would be different types of mentors. Some mentors would just be there for support, and others might help develop certain skills. It would be best if a mentor developed the skill to be any type of mentor, but ultimately in an area that they would value or would be most suited for. Maybe outside adults, which I have or will talk about in other episodes, could introduce them to the Child Mentor Program. They could take kindergartners and talk about and show them how to mentor nursery school kids. This could be done with first graders, showing them how to mentor kindergartners, and do the same at higher grade levels until the kids are actually able to be mentors themselves. Perhaps a way to introduce them is to have them do very small tasks in mentoring with an adult standing right there. It would also be a good idea to have the mentors introduce volunteering to those being mentored. They could join them and introduce them to various types of volunteering. The idea would be to promote a stronger sense of community, compassion, and contributing. It would also develop bonding between the mentor and the one being mentored. This is a continuation of my series on education. I feel it is critical that everyone take a look and ask where it should be. It should be a national, international obsession to bring students along in all areas. Most give it little to no thought, and that's because growing up, we are not included in looking at its importance. Education is often viewed as almost a punishment. often leaving emotional scars. Why? It is most certainly because it was poorly presented. This is the 5th video in this education series. In other videos, which I will link below, I have looked at number 1, creating monsters and bad students. Number 2, creating good students / a better education. Number 3, instead of grading us, the education system should first be grading itself. And number 4, an education answer. In creating monsters, I look at that we have allowed some children to grow up in the most horrible of situations, then hold them accountable for how they react. We are surprised when a child grows up in a drug-infested, gang-ridden environment with all kinds of abuse and poor education, that this child becomes a criminal, or worse, a monster. We have miserably failed such children and failed to acknowledge or understand why. In creating good students, I look at how we have shamefully failed many of the children in bringing them along as they should have been brought along. Instead of grading us, the education system should be grading itself. I look at the U.S. expenditures per year on K through 12 public schools being $750 billion. Yet the education level of our average citizen is not very good, with many school districts almost failing to educate at all. On top of that, most Americans did not like their educational experience, some viewing it as one long nightmare, which produces a lifetime of resistance to learning. In an education answer, I look at our priorities in our society. Our brightest are employed to deceive or promote products which are deadly or highly addictive. Coaches or athletic consultants can be paid as much as $50 million a year. An exceptional teacher, meanwhile, has little value or appreciation in our education system. Join me as I continue to look at the education system in future videos. These will include an army to teach, the need for ongoing adult education for everyone, educational camps, and several episodes on the creation of a public platform to educate for all. I will also continue my counterculture series as well. Please like and subscribe, as that is how YouTube sends it on to others. If you enjoy the content, please let others know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.